Hello, one and all. It's my view of The Promised Neverland Season 2, Episode 7, and just ouch. I mean, seriously, seeing Norman pull his hand away from Em like that hurt. That hurt me deep in my soul, but, I do kind of get where he's coming from. He's got a basement full of mutilated corpses, which, yeah, I think we can all agree is kind of the point of no return. Once you've basically committed war crimes and atrocities of that level, there's no going back. There's no getting the happy ending for everybody. It's just, okay, we gotta keep moving forward. We gotta keep committing war crimes, doing awful, terrible things to justify what we've done in the past. There's, if we stop now, then what was the purpose of everything we've done up to this point? What was the reason why we did all these awful, terrible things? And, there's also a bit of revenge in there as well. We don't know exactly what happened in the Lambda facility, though it does seem like next episode might cover that, but Barbara described it as a place worse than hell, where they were treated worse than animals. So, yeah, clearly not a pleasant place. Not a place you'd want to, go for your 8th grade field trip. But speaking of Barbara, I mean, God, I loved her this episode. I mean, I loved everything about her. Just applause, hats off. Hats off to her voice actress. Hats off to the animators for what they did with her. You can really just feel the anger in her voice when she starts ranting about demons. Then when she starts that seizure, oh my God, you can feel the pain in her face. You can hear the pain in her voice. It just was so well done. I absolutely freaking loved it. But speaking of the Lambda seizures, Vincent said that Sislo, Zazzy, Barbara, and him are all starting to have the seizures more and more frequently, which means there's a very good chance they aren't going to be in, fighting shape for all that much longer. Yeah, they probably have an expiration date already put on them because of what the testing that was done to them in the Lambda facility. Though it is interesting to note that he didn't include Norman in that list, and yet at the end of the episode we clearly see that Norman is coughing up blood, and seems like, he might have been tested as well. I mean, he said he wasn't last episode, but he might have been lying. He lied to Em about sparing Sonja and Mujika, so yeah, he might be lying about that as well, in which case, he is really on a time limit here. He has to, eradicate the demons before he dies, or else Emma and the rest of them are probably going to spend their entire lives being hunted down by demons. So, yeah, that's bad. And so we're basically left with two sides. Norman wants to defend his family, at all costs, even if it means basically selling his soul, destroying himself in order to do it, in order to save them, protect them. I mean, I really can't imagine his plan working, but part of me really kind of wants to see that happen, I love it if the ending of the series is just all the demons being dead, and then Emma and the rest of them, the survivors have to basically start a new world in the demon world by themselves, basically. I think it'd be absolutely amazing to see. Very risky, very unlikely, but that'd be so cool. Meanwhile, Emma, wants the perfect ending. She doesn't want Norman to sacrifice himself, sacrifice his soul in order to save the rest of them, Back when they first escaped from Gracefield, they didn't consider it a complete victory because Norman wasn't with them, because they had to sacrifice him to make it work. Well, because he sacrificed himself, and that's always, left a bad taste in their mouth. Like, have you ever come so close to 100%ing a game, but then you just miss that one trophy because there's one quest, one challenge you either missed or you just can't find a way to do, or it just takes too long, and you're feeling incomplete. You're feeling like you didn't actually beat the game because you're just missing that one little piece. That's how Emma felt. Without Norman, it wasn't a full victory. Yes, she saved 90% of her family, but that other 10%, that Norman percent, really mattered to her, and without it, just, it wasn't victory. She didn't really escape. So yeah, now her plan is basically to find Sonja and Mujika, and I guess to use them to make it so the demons don't have to eat people, which, I mean, that's a good enough plan, but there are a lot of holes in it. First and foremost, it was said by Norman, the king, and all the rest of them really, really don't want that to happen, so Emma would basically have to battle the royal family, I guess, which I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, but let's not also forget, the fact that demons really, really love eating humans. I mean, yeah, demons eat to survive, but at the same time, they really, really love the taste of human meat. So even if, they didn't have to eat to survive, some of them, not all of them, obviously, but some of them would still try to do it. They'd still try and hunt humans because they just really want the taste. Take, for instance, Sonju, who straight up said that he wants to hunt humans, that he wants to eat them again because he really loves their taste, even though he doesn't need to eat them to survive. So, yeah, Emma's plan's definitely flawed. I mean, on the other hand, though, there is the gateway to the human world, which, again, very, very interesting that it was referred to as a gate between worlds, a device that lets them travel between worlds. So, yeah, the divide between the demon and human world might be a little bit more permanent than a lot of people were suspecting, which, interesting. Also, super coincidental, the only gate to the human world is back at Gracefield, the place they left, which, okay, that is way, way too much of a coincidence, but I'm willing to accept it simply because it means, they have to go back home. They have to go basically where they were planning on going from the start, back to save Phil, and they can just make a beeline right for the gate to the human world because it's right freaking there. Again, way too coincidental, but at the same time, Gracefield is considered like the highest quality farm in the world, so the security there is probably better than anywhere else in the entire demon world, meaning it's a pretty safe place to keep the gateway. There's very, very little chance that any human farm child would accidentally wander into it. Though it is definitely interesting to note that Norman said the gatekeeper will be in the way. That's curious. I mean, there's all the security, obviously, but gatekeeper, that's singular. That doesn't mean like a team of super trained demons who are in charge of protecting it, or even just, the people in charge of running the farms. A singular being, person, something is in charge of making sure that they don't get through it. So very, very curious about that and what exactly that's going to mean. Anyway, let's talk about Musica, because I saw a lot of theory and speculation about her after last episode. People were saying, oh, Norman knows Musica. She must have met him before. She must have been lying about how she had never had any contact with humans, this or that. Oh, maybe she was part of the Lambda testing facility. Maybe she was in charge of it. This. Lots and lots of crazy theories. No, turns out Norman has never met her before and only heard about her from rumors. In fact, he thought she had been dead for centuries, for good reason too. Apparently, she's Jesus. Her blood offers salvation to all those who consume it. And I am seeing a lot of people complain online, oh, her magic blood, that's so stupid, that's so ridiculous, it makes no sense. And I gotta disagree on that. I mean, I think it could have been explained better, but I think it does make a lot of sense. Basically, it was explained last episode that because of demons' unstable genetic structure, they take in the traits of anything they eat. So therefore, if they eat humans, they become like humans. But that same genetic structure means that they slowly degenerate and lose those traits over time, so they need to keep eating humans to retain their intelligence. Mujika is just basically mutant, She's a demon who's born with a slightly more stable genetic structure, so therefore she doesn't deteriorate over time. And because demons are able to take in traits by eating them, any demon who eats part of her gets that same trait and therefore becomes stable, is able to pass on that power to other demons. It makes a lot of sense, it's basically evolution. It could have definitely been explained better, though. Could definitely have been explained better, though. Anyway, then the king came around and attempted to murder her and all of her subordinates, basically deeming her, she's the evil-blooded, it's a curse, it'll destroy you, this or that, whatever, vilifying her as much as possible because he didn't want people to, not have to eat humans. It was even speculated that the entire promise, the entire reason for all of this, wasn't actually to create peace between the species, but rather just so the king could have more power so that he can control his people better. Oh, that's some next level corruption right there. That's some next level corruption right there. Basically, if you're the king and you control the food source, that means you're, basically in charge of everyone. If a certain city isn't as nice to you as you like, and basically cut off food to them, lessen food to them, and they'll start to go feral and murder each other, while the people who are good to you, or are nice to you, or give you a bunch of money in taxes, you give them a lot more food, and they're a lot happier, and they're less likely to go feral and start murdering one another. So yeah, super corrupt, but it makes a lot of sense. I also do just love this little negotiating Emma and Norman have back and forth. I don't know why, after everything we saw with Norman, after everything that happens in this episode, this scene it made me smile. It seemed so freaking cute. Anyway, then Emma goes back to tell the rest of the kids that they are not going to commit mass genocide, and instead are attempting to find some way to save the demons. Yay? Not yay. No, that seems like a very bad plan, and they're all fairly shocked by this, but, Emma explains it to them. They haven't really been seeing demons. I mean, for the most part, only Emma, Ray, Norman Dunn, and Gilda actually went to the demon city. The rest of them have basically been living away from the demons in the ruins, so they haven't had the same experiences that Emma had. They haven't seen demons, living their lives, being ordinary, just same as people, essentially. And I do love that as she's talking about how the demons need to eat to survive, hands over to the fish that, the kids had murdered in order to survive. And then we get the brothers back looking at each other, realizing, hey, wait a minute. If we went hungry like that, we'd have to eat each other. And they totally freak out. Oh, that was just so cute and absolutely freaking love it. And I also do just love that Dawn supports Emma here because, she's not trying to take this on by herself. She's trying to get them involved with it as well, trying to get their help in doing this. I mean, one of the main reasons why Gilda was so excited about Norman's plan was because it finally would take the pressure off of Emma so she wouldn't have to be so worried about saving everyone, where now, Emma's going to everyone asking for their help, and therefore they're going to do this together. Also, just the moment of Emma and Gilda back and forth is so freaking adorable. I mean, really. Emma is basically the mom of the group, but somehow Gilda is her mom. The one making sure she doesn't do anything crazy and one, making sure she stays safe like that. It's just such a weird dynamic, but it works so well for them. It's so freaking cute, and I freaking love it. Anyway, now they just need to find Sonja and Mujika, who are in hiding in a very, very large world in 5 days, which would be problematic, except that the migratory birds that they like are really, really close right now, which super convenient, super convenient. In fact, we even see them standing in the exact same spot that Emma and Ray would later stand on in this episode. So yeah, like I said, super, super convenient. Though honestly, probably still an improvement over the manga. Basically in the manga, it was just Dawn and Gilda went out searching, and they decided to search in forbidden zones, places where even demons are not allowed to tread. So mysterious. But they were never freaking explained. It was never told why they were mysterious. It was never said, no, oh, this was living there, or that was living there, or the reason it was forbidden is because there was radiation or something like that. No, it was just said these are forbidden zones. No one's allowed to go there, so that's probably where they're hanging out, which was just disappointing. Very, very disappointing. And speaking of disappointing, it definitely seems like they're going to cut out another important character in the search for Mujika and Sonja, someone who Norman sent to give them a helping hand, which is so disappointing because I love that character so very, very much. But it does seem like they're trying to streamline the series, trying to focus on, the cast we have now. So it seems very, very unlikely they're going to introduce a new character with only 4 episodes left. Seriously though, they have 4 episodes left to tell the entire rest of the story. How the freak are they going to do that? My best guess, next episode is going to be Norman's backstory, what happened to him in Lambda, why exactly he and his subordinates hate the place so much, and why they're filled with such unbridled rage. Very excited for that. Then maybe, at the end of the episode, they'll end up finding Sonja and Mujika. Yay! That's episode 4. Episode 3, I'm guessing, them winning over Sonja and Mujika, and then them battling Norman's gang, and eventually coming to some sort of conclusion, some sort of peace, somehow, some way. Episode 2, them teaming up together to face the bigger threat, to face, I don't know, Gracefield, going back, trying to get to the human gates, save Phil and all them. But I mean, even if they can do that, there's still the issue, all the other humans in the demon world they need to rescue. So, yeah, that's a whole other quest. And then, last episode epilogue, more or less, they'll eventually manage to save everyone somehow, some way, or find a way to make a peace treaty with the demons so that they aren't getting in, or, maybe they'll just go back to the farms, back to the Gracefield, but without anyone hunting them. So yeah, we can't actually live outside in the demon world, but we can still, stay in Gracefield. We'll just build cities here. We'll live here, Yes, we're in cages, but no one's hunting us right now, and we're being protected and guarded. It seems unlikely, but maybe? Really hard to say at this point. I mean, I'm definitely curious how closely they're going to stick to the manga. I see several elements in this episode that could fit together well, but they might end up going an entirely different route, and I would not be surprised if they did, but I'd be very interested in seeing, exactly which path it is they're going to end up taking. The creator of the manga said he was disappointed with parts of the ending, so if he goes with the entirely different, entirely new ending, that would make a lot of sense, and I would really like to see that, but you let me think all this down below. What exactly is happening with Norman and his buddies? Why are they so sick? Why do they hate Lambda so much? And who's going to win out in the end? Is Norman going to wipe out all the demons? Is Emma going to find a way to make peace with the demons? Let me know what you think of all that down below. Be sure to like and subscribe so it's my next video. And until then, peace!